Hello friends. So today we are going to talk about the web storage API. What is web storage API? Before talking about the web storage API, I would like to thanks to W3C World Wide Web Consortium. This is the organization who works on standardizing the scripting thing. See, if we are working on a web application, it is very important or it's very necessary job to carry data from one page to another page, and there are various requirements where we need to store some data at client side. Okay, our browser is a client side stuff, so we need to store some data at client side for various purpose, like sending some data with each request, like email id or user id, login id, some key, various things, carrying some data from one page to another page and next page and so on. So in early days it was very tricky to do, although we had a tool, we had a mechanism called cookie. But those days even the browsers, there were various browsers, but though all those were not on same platform, and for the security purpose most of the browser used to disable the cookies for security purpose. Okay, but thanks to the modern web development approach, within this approach we can easily store some data, our data, at client side. When I say client side, that means these data would be stored in browser itself. Okay, and this web storage API is supported by all major browser like Chrome, Edge, Firefox. Most of the modern browsers are supported this storage API. So this web storage API is used to store the data, application data, at browser level. So there are multiple storage area, multiple storage mechanism that may fit to your requirement. We can choose according to our requirement. Okay, so what is this? Local storage. The another option is sessionStorage, and the third option is IndexedDB. This is like a DB approach. This in this IndexedDB approach we can store so many things like images, files, but in these two area, local storage and session storage, this is used to store not store various file information. This stores string information, but these local storage and session storage is capable to store complex script also. We can store JavaScript object also. Okay, so important thing to understand about what we can store and what is the lifespan of our data that we stored. Okay, so let's go to the what is local storage. So these storage, local storage and session storage, both are key value pair based mechanism, and they are stored in browser. We will see also the example. What we can store in that, we can store string UTF-16 based string which supports all modern scripting. Okay, so we can store our simple string, JavaScript, JSON, like that. And in the local storage there is no expiration, means until we manually clean the browser data. Okay, this will remain, whatever data we store, that will remain forever. Okay, there are some certain situation where that gets clean, we will talk about that later, but usually it will stay for longer time. Okay. All these stories are related to a domain. Okay, a storage is domain or origin based. We will talk about this, like let's talk something about this. So let's say I have a website which call http colon double slash example.com. So if we store some data into example.com, that is not going to available in https example.com because it varies means browser take these two domain differently, means these are not same, they are different. So just think of these domain names like your database name. Okay, and these two are different, these two are unique. Okay, both are different. So but we will talk about more. Now let me go through the video. We'll talk more about like on this origin relation with our storage, why to use storage and when to use storage. Yes, as we said, uh, there are various purpose to store the data at client side. No, for let's say we can store username. So next time when user comes back on the site and open the hit the application or hit the site, so the our site identified the user itself. Okay, various purpose what can be, let's say if we have some sort of uh, some application which require, let's say we have application game type of application. Okay, or maybe some social networking site of application where we can store multiple information like how many credits you have, such kind of information. What is, let's say some websites are there which has preference of choosing theme. Okay, user can choose their theme, so next time he visits the website again, so we can give them, those user, their preferred theme. Okay, some preference language. Okay, so such kind of information for the user experience perspective we can save at client side. Remember that not to store sensitive data. One very important things to I'd like to say that web storage or even cookies. See, saving information at client side is risky. Risky in the sense, if somebody has access to your computer, your browser, anybody in your family member or friends or in your college or office, they can read it because data stored in local storage, I mean the web storage, they are human readable, they are string, so they can read it. So it's your responsibility, means application developer responsibility, to encode that or encrypt that. Okay, and decrypt that. Okay, so that is one thing that we need to take care. Yeah, so let's move to next slide. How to use local storage? It's very simple. Local storage is an object which is part of window object, which is part of global object, so it is readily available for you to use. We can simply, in our script code, we can simply say to create or to set a data or to save a data, we can say local storage dot set item. This is the key and this is the value. Okay, if we have to get the data, this is simple, set item get item, very simple mechanism to set It's not at all complex, and this is to remove item. It's a key value pair based mechanism, so pretty simple. This is for clear. If we use it, the clear function, it will clear the entire storage. Okay, you can see there is no update API. That means what? To update, we can use the set item itself. Okay, so at somewhere, if we have to, in some point in time, if we have to update the key, update the value, so we can use the set item only, so that the previous value will be replaced, because that key is unique. Okay, so the value will be replaced. The another thing is that was local storage. So the scope of the, let's talk about the scope. I forgot about, sorry. So anything stored in the local storage will remain available even though if we have closed the browser. It has no expiration time. Okay, it will remain forever. Um, Means if we have closed the browser and if we open it again, then we will see that okay, it is available. But there is some tricky thing. Remember it. If we have used, if we have open a site in Edge browser, the same site in the Edge browser, let's say username is, okay, let me take this pen. Okay, if we are opening the browser Edge and set the username John, okay, and then we have open the browser Chrome and set the value something called Sam, okay, and we close both the browser and we open up again anything, let's say Edge browser, what we will see? We will see John into that. Means each browser have their own storage, means whatever we are storing is going into the browser. I will show you that with the example. Okay, so if we have saved John in the Edge, we will find that data. If we have saved anything like Sam into Chrome browser, so we will get the Sam. So these little key components we need to remember. Okay, so basically wanted to explain that storage is intact with the browser, so the values are being stored into browser. So if you want, all the browser in sync, okay, if we have used Chrome and we want that same user to be open in browser, what we called Edge, then cookie is your friend, then we can use the cookie, the older mechanism. Okay, now let's go clear it out. Okay, sorry, clear it out. So what is the session? It is same like local storage, but the difference is that the lifespan, just the difference is the lifespan. Anything that we are storing in session will be lost as soon as we close the browser. But here remember one thing, the session storage is intact with the browser tab. That means what? If we are so each tab has their own session storage, okay. So basically sorry, I forgot that. So as soon as a tab is open, one session ID is created, and this session ID is not the server side session ID, it's absolutely a client side session ID. browser side session ID, and that session ID is intact with the tab. So this is how that uniqueness, or you can think of that session ID based domain name plus that session ID based, with the combination of that your session storage is created. So as soon as we close the tab, our data is lost. Okay, opening multiple tabs for the same URL will create session storage for each tab. That means the same scenario that we discussed with the local storage with the different browser. Different browser had different data. Whatever data we stored in the different browser, it will remain for the separate browser. Okay, accordingly. The same thing here also, in the same in the different tab, the different session storage will be created. So if you expect that tab 1 data we will get into tab 2 data, tab 2 view, no, that is no, you will not find that. Okay, so refresh or restore will not create a new okay. So this is also a key component, key concept to remember, that as we know that, as we just talked, like as soon as we create a new tab, open a new tab, a new session is get created. But when we refresh, it's not going to create the new session. That means refreshing is not going to impact the session storage. That means it is safer in the refresh condition. Our data is not lost. Okay, our data will remain there. So even if your application or API communication, server side communication is opening new or refreshing the page, that means our data will be there. Okay, how to use the session storage? This is absolutely like local storage. The session storage also the part of window object, so it is globally available, readily available. Okay, this is again the same API: set item, get item, remove item, and clear item. Okay, now what is IndexedDB? We will talk more about the IndexedDB in the next video. But before talking to the IndexedDB, we will see the example of this local storage and session storage. So let's end the slide, go to the example. Okay, so I have a running application. Okay, VS Code, local server 5500. We have two page, index.html and welcome.html. Okay, in the index.html, simple, we have a text field. Okay, where we can enter a username, and on the click button we are calling the save function. What that save function is do is that get the value from the text field and store into the local storage. Okay, and then the welcome HTML, you can see this, it's very simple. It's very simple. Just this two line is important. This line is just for logging purpose. This is very simple. And in the welcome page, what we are doing, just getting the value from local storage and showing that. And see, it's very simple. I really would like to thanks again to W3C. This was very tricky in older days, and thanks to modern web API, it made the things very easy to do. Okay, so let's see the example. I have what do you call index.html, and let's say I'm saving a name. Just ignore about these things, just for sample purpose, and I'm saving some data, let's say, okay, and save it. Okay, so you can see in the console it is printing, so that means the value is stored into local storage. And now I'm going to show on what we call welcome.html. welcome See that we are getting that. Okay, so now I am opening the edge. You see, I was running this application before starting the demo. You see, still I have Rakesh in the edge browser. Here in the browser I have Nitin. So that proves, let me do it again. Index.html and call me here Pankaj and submit it. That means, and now open that welcome.html. So here I have Pankaj in edge browser. Okay, but here if I refresh this, still it is Nitin. That means the storage are browser specific. Now let me close this browser. Okay, let me close this browser completely. And remember, this is, we are seeing the example of local storage. Okay, I close that browser and opening it again. Okay, localhost colon 5500 and welcome.html. Come on, man. Index.html. Okay, and again welcome.html. Hey, is it local storage? Is it local storage? Yeah, local storage. So what is wrong? Let me open it and go into the browser. And hit that. How it is clean. Index.html, hello world, anything, let's discuss this. Submitted. Welcome.html. Okay, close this, open again, and see this. I don't know what was the problem that time. See this. So even though let me do again, I don't know what was the problem that time. Index.html, let me save some name. Saved it. Okay, I might have not saved, I might have not clicked on submit. Okay, so Manoj is saved. Close it. Anything mistake was happened, maybe I might have not clicked submit button. So now open the browser again and see this. We can find the Manoj. So this is what I wanted to show. And let me open the Chrome browser. Chrome. I don't want to show that page, but okay. What is that? See these guys, let me show you. You guys don't view my video. I'm working hard on making that, but you guys don't see my video. Okay, anyways, not a problem, no complaint. So what I was saying, localhost colon 5500 slash index.html, is it right? Okay, so open up welcome.html first. No data. Okay, let's index.html and make some save here, John. Okay, so here we have John. On the browser we have, on the edge we have Manoj, and here we have Nitin. So if I refresh it, I will find out Nitin only. Okay, if we refresh that edge, we will get the Manoj only, and if we hit that index welcome.html, we will get the John only. Okay, so this proves that local storage has browser specification is browser. The data is stored into the browser. Okay, so there are some key point to remember. Again, let's go to the slide back. Uh, Remember here it's a key value pair based. UTF data we can save, we can't save files or something like that. Okay, that we can see in IndexedDB in another video. Just for the sake of making the video short, I'm not going to show the demonstration of sessionStorage, or maybe I'll try to do in a separate video, or you can understand it. We have discussed about the key concept, but let's say I'll do that in the next video. Okay, local storage does not have any expiration time, but remember that incognito mode on private browsing is not going to save your data, and the storage is domain specific. Okay, so thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Close it.